Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson is taking hit for criticizing a smoker fan at a recent Iron Maiden show.
What idiot! Oh my god, and he's got a big ass as well.
Around a month ago, a video from the Iron Maiden concert at Anaheim on September 21st, in which Bruce Dickinson goes off on a smoker standing in the first row, was posted on YouTube.
There's so many people smoking so much dope down here. Poor old Steve, I don't know if you know, but he absolutely hates marijuana and the smell of it, alright? So when he's trying to play bass, it
And I'll be honest with you, I actually saw that video the first day it was posted, but decided to not comment on it, as I thought everybody else would.
Exactly.
But in the last couple of days, it actually did go viral. And it seems like everybody in the world of heavy metal has to have an opinion on it.
Yes, that's true.
Among the most recent events covered by most media outlets was the fact that Jamie Jasta blasted Bruce Dickinson for criticizing a Maiden fan. And so the very first thing I did after reading this very popular tweet was googled who Jamie Jasta was. And by the way, I mean no disrespect here, I just simply had no idea. And in case you are like myself, he is the frontman of the band Hatebreed. And the second thing I did was Google the Honda Center in which the concert was held, and just in case you're wondering, it is not an open-air arena. But since then, it seems like nobody is actually indifferent, and metalheads around the world seems to be divided into two different camps, with one criticizing Iron Maiden and specifically Bruce Dickinson for being too old and not rock and roll enough,
Shame!
and the other one protecting the metal legends and calling for mutual respect among the metalhead community.
I would just ask, tiny bit of respect. If you want to go and get completely stoned out of your mind, go out the back and do it.
And so here's the thing, and for full disclosure, I have to say that I am an Iron Maiden fan. But heavy metal has always been about freedom, about personal freedom. And yes, this does include smoking weed if this is what freedom is for you.
Hey, this is a private residence, man.
But there is a catch. Heavy metal is about freedom to do what you want as long as it doesn't interfere with somebody else's freedom to do what they want. And in this particular case of smoking weed in the first row at a closed arena show, very close to the stage, was in fact interfering with somebody else's freedoms.
Holy smoke, there's plenty bad preachers for the devil to stoke.
For years, the band has been very vocal about how much the smell affects their performance on stage, and thus affects the experience of 10,500 people who purchased the tickets to that concert just the same as the guy in the first row did. In addition, I don't think that there's any Iron Maiden fan who doesn't know that Bruce Dickinson has just recovered from a throat cancer, and thus not being exposed to a carcinogen is not just a mere desire by a guy, but is also simply his basic right. And exactly the same goes for everyone who stands near the dude and who spent just as much money to watch the show and enjoy it like he did. And I know that the right to smoke has always been compared to a right to drink alcohol, so I'm just gonna say that in my opinion, drinking alcohol, just like smoking weed, is okay as long as you do not interfere with somebody else's personal space and his right to enjoy the show. And that's exactly why it seems like Bruce said to not just simply stop smoking, because yeah, smoking weed at the rock concerts has been around since forever, and it is part of the experience for some, which is totally okay. But go further from the stage to the back and do it over there to not mess up somebody else's experience, which in my opinion is a very reasonable request, and it is at the very least not fair to hate Iron Maiden almost to the point of trying to cancel them for it.
Feet on it, feet first, this is no joke, this is thirsty work, making holy smoke.
But even if we don't take any of this in consideration, I simply have another question. It is no secret that Bruce Dickinson, Steve Harris, and Iron Maiden as band hate and have always hated when their fans smoked in the first row, and they have in fact been very, very vocal about it throughout the years. And the people who stand in the first row at an Iron Maiden concert usually seem to be die-hard Iron Maiden fans.
It's family.
And so, by the way, there's no judgment here, I'm just trying to figure out where the truth is, but most of the people who stand at the first row at a band's concert are the band's most die-hard fans, who usually wait in line for hours before the show to be the first at the bar. And yeah, I'm one of those as well. But usually most of die-hard fans know their band's preferences and something that is very important to them. And once again, I have nothing against smoking per se if it does not interfere with somebody else's freedom, but I simply have a question of how a die-hard Iron Maiden fan did not know that the band hates the smell and thought it would be okay to do it at an Iron Maiden show.
Holy smoke.
But anyway, Anyways, what do you guys personally think about this matter? And do you think that Bruce Dickinson had a right to criticize their fan, or metalheads should be allowed to do whatever the flip they want at a metal show? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this short and a very spontaneous video. And once again, I don't mean to criticize anyone, this is just my opinion and I'd love to hear yours. We will prevail. Slava Ukraini!